All right, y'all, as we get this thing rolling, man, welcome to our Pound for Pound ATL live stream. Once again, me and JR back at it.
That's right. That's right. Y'all have to forgive us today. We're having a little bit of a technical difficulty with this stream, but we're going to see if we can't power through it anyway.
Well, at least this time, even with that technical difficulty, we got a W this week.
We definitely got a W this week, and that was much better showing and a much better performance than we had in Minnesota. That much is for sure.
Yeah, and I'm excited about what this defense showed us this time around, as opposed to 10 passes
Oh man,
from Kirk Cousins last week in Minnesota.
We needed much more than that, and we got it. And so that was good to see for sure. You know, Al already with the comments. But anyway, yeah. So that was a lot better to see this time around than last week. You got to see, Matt Ryan execute the offense a little better. We still had some turnovers, which got to get cleaned up. But other than that, the physicalness of the defense really shined through, and that was a major thing that I saw this week.
Yeah, they were tagging people
Big time
in this game, and some of the guys, Philadelphia can make all the excuses they want because Deshaun Jackson was not playing, Alshon Jeffries was not playing. I don't think they would have wanted to play in this particular game the way that this Atlanta defense was tagging you.
Yeah, not the way this defense was hitting people. And I seem to remember that last year we had the whole middle of our defense was gone at one point in time, and wasn't nobody giving us excuses. Wasn't nobody crying for us. So
yeah,
I mean, I hate to be like that, but I'm not gonna cry for them not having their guys.
What's up, VTW?
That's right.
We see you.
We appreciate y'all joining with us. Like I said, I know it probably looks a little different this week than it did last week, but we're having a little bit of issues, but we're gonna power through it just like the Falcons did. They had a little bit of issues, but they powered through it. So what's up, Don? Good seeing you tonight. But okay, let's really get into it. Let's really get into, instead of just highlighting it and instead of just glossing over it. Let's really get into the game. The one thing that popped off to me in the first quarter was they really seemed like they were trying to get that run game going. And that was good to see after a lackluster showing in Minnesota. Now, the run game in total didn't really do much. I think we were under 100 yards, but it was good to see them at least try to be dedicated to it.
And you're facing two good run defenses in the first 2 weeks of the season. Of course, you're going to have some struggles there. But I think Devontae Freeman looked a lot better this week than he did week one as far as his explosiveness.
That much is for sure. He did look a lot more comfortable this week than he did week one. He finally got, I feel like, a full game under his belt. After not really playing in the preseason. Like I said, after not really playing in the preseason, boy, it's going to be a good one tonight, y'all. Y'all going to have to bear with me on this. Wow. Okay, let's see here. What happened, I forgot my daggum stand at the house. That's what happened. So we're going to make do.
Yeah, it's all good, man. I mean, we're going to have our probably showing on the live stream like the Falcons did in week one.
Yeah, no doubt. Apparently, we're going to make a bad look in week two. But anyway.
But y'all bear with us, though. Bear with us.
But anyway, so back to Devontae. Yeah, he looked much better this week than he did last week. He showed that strength, that power. He showed that burst, especially on that, especially on that little shovel pass coming out of the second half where he took it down to the 4-yard line.
Yeah.
So that was a good deal there.
What's up, Don? And I don't know if Coach is in there, man, but what's up with y'all, man? Feel Out Sports in the house.
That's right. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Appreciate y'all showing some support there.
And we checked y'all show out last night. I know I did, and I was laughing hilariously at how heated y'all was about this Vic Beasley situation.
Yeah, y'all definitely going at it a little bit. More, I don't know, I don't even know if it's worth even going at it, I guess. Yes, you're paying a man a lot of money, but you may finally be kind of using him in a good manner.
Yeah,
Or something that accents his, athleticism. So
yeah. So I mean, while we're on the Big Beasley to me had a lot better game last night. I think both him and Tack are getting comfortable with their roles in this defense. So it's all good.
yeah, no, it is, and that's something that's going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
You're. It's almost like you're learning a new scheme.
Yeah.
Yes, you got the same coach, but it's definitely a different scheme with this 5-2-4, type deal, and getting Vic Beasley is playing more of a Anthony Barr linebacker role than what he's been used to playing. So
Yeah.
and yeah, you're right. Eno Smith is looking really good, and I hope they start featuring him more. But I fear that's going to end up being like a Tevin Coleman type situation. Eno Smith looking great as long as Devontae's in the game.
Yeah.
But when you're having to put, when Coleman got a chance to be the lead back, he showed that he wasn't really much of a lead back.
Well, he wasn't capable of hitting that 1,000 yards.
Right.
That we're used to seeing Devontae Freeman hit. Of course, Devontae Freeman with injuries hasn't been able to get back to that point again, but I'm not sure if he will this season with the way we've been throwing the ball quite obsessively these first two games.
I mean, there was a point I brought up with having Dirk Cutter back as your offensive coordinator. I mean, Dirk Cutter is pass happy, period, point blank. That's where he likes to be. Now, I'll say that this is a a double-edged sword. At least shows me that Dan Quinn isn't dictating what Dirk Cutter is supposed to do or what he wants to do. He's letting Dirk Cutter be Dirk Cutter.
And we knew that going in. We knew that, and we was hoping that he would allow Dirk Cutter to be Dirk.
Right.
And that's exactly what he's doing, and not just Dirk Cutter, Matt Ryan as well, because Matt Ryan got all those weapons. He wants to throw it too.
Right. Exactly. He wants to throw it to he wants to throw it to Julio and Muhammad and Calvin Ridley. I mean, you spent a first-round pick on Ridley last year. You need to use him. You know. So I understand that completely.
I know there's people that have probably wanted to jump off the ledge after Matt Ryan's 3-interception performance. But you got to keep into account, and I mentioned this to you earlier, 14, 17, 14, which is pretty much the interceptions amount that Matt Ryan has thrown since being with Dirk Cutter in 12, 13, and 14.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's, I suspect that his interception numbers are going to be about around that again.
Yeah.
And so, but that's nothing to be concerned about, in my opinion. Because we had success before when he threw interceptions like that. So we can definitely have it again, especially if, Trufant's going to be a multiple pick, corner this year for the first time in his career.
Was that exciting to see?
Man, come on. That was great to see.
Man, you catching balls on the ground. When has that happened?
Oh, dude, that was beautiful.
Trufant?
That was beautiful. I guess somebody finally delivered him a jugs machine or something.
It worked this year. So far, it worked.
Yeah, no doubt. So I hope he can keep it up because we need that.
I believe he will. If he's able to stay healthy this season, I believe he will keep up that performance. And like I said before, I told you guys, man, Jerome Henderson is the guy that I believe in. Not just the passing defensive coordinator anymore. He's also the secondary coach. If anybody was going to get Trufant going, it was going to be him. And I've said this before in the video before about Jerome Henderson, and I believe in this guy.
Oh, yeah, no, I believe in him too. And it's showing, dividends so far, in creating the turnovers and the mismatches, that you're seeing with guys like, Trufant and, let's see, asking, what we think about Oliver. I think he played a much better game this week than he did last week.
He was a lot more comfortable this week than he was last week. Almost had an interception, a one-handed interception if he could have corralled it in. I believe as time goes on, because we've seen Oliver take a few lumps,
Yes.
since the season started. But I think as time goes on, he can build on this game and get a lot better at really trusting his length and really using that to his advantage as the season goes along.
I agree. And as much as he may frustrate me with the being handsy, which I think it will hopefully will clean up. He did make it that game saving tackle.
Yes, he did. After giving up that 4th and 14 with
Right.
Aguilar getting behind him.
Exactly. So I mean, he's proven that he can do it.
Yeah.
And you're going to take your lumps with him. So I'm willing to take my lumps now, in hopes that he'll be better. If and when we make it to the postseason.
What I love that Dan Quinn said about this defense, and they've been saying it all in the offseason, that this is going to be a defense where Dan Quinn allows them to make plays.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn said when that 4th and 14 got given up, Deion Jones came to him and smiled at him and said, Dan, we got this. And he let them go out there and make that play to get that stop on Zach Ertz, to keep that from being converted into a first down, which could have been very dangerous for us, because we know history has shown with us Atlanta Falcons, when we have a chance to get a win, we let it slip away.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and let's talk about that for a second. This is a game we should have lost.
Yeah.
This is a game I think a year or so ago we would have lost.
Yeah, we would have.
We would have been staring at 0-2 in the face. But we didn't. This was a gritty win that I think this team can build off of, for sure.
Yeah, and I tweeted it that same night on Sunday night when Vic Beasley almost had the sack on Carson Wentz, but he ended up being able to get the ball off just before his knees hit the ground. And I tell you, if that play could have been the play that they would have highlighted if Philadelphia had won that game for the rest of the season.
Oh
for
yeah,
the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh yeah, that would have been on the highlight reel, like first and foremost, big time. So yeah, I'm glad that Beasley was able to, or not. I mean, I'm glad that they didn't win the game, and you didn't have to see that over and over again.
Yes.
Because if you really look at it, it looked like his knee was down. Before he got that pass off. So that's just my opinion on that one. VTW, you are correct. We do need to take advantage of the NFC South with Breeze being out. That's just point blank.
And you already know the Saints fans are crying right now because they don't have their quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll get to see more of Tyson Hill. I know Teddy Bridgewater is going to be their guy, but I wonder if they're going to put Tyson Hill in more packages or whatnot.
And they could. I mean, Sean Payton has proven he's a mastermind when it comes to running offenses. But you can tell that offense is going to be different without having their general.
Oh, big time.
Him.
Big time. And yes, Dwayne Turner, I definitely feel like we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of what our offense is going to be this year. You got to think, yes, Dirk Cutter's been here before, but he hasn't been here with Mohamed Sanu, with Calvin Ridley, with Ito Smith, Devontae Freeman. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, Austin Hooper, all of those guys.
He's still trying to adjust to us, and we're still trying to adjust to him.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a quicker maturation process. I don't think it's going to take a full season like it did with Shanahan and like it did with Sarkisian. But yes, I think you're seeing early lumps right now. But I think we're going to be much better.
What I'm noticing after these first two games with this offense, you're seeing a lot of malarkey philosophy.
Yeah.
You're seeing Dirk Cutter's philosophy, and you're seeing Shanahan's philosophy all rolled up into one. Yeah. You're seeing them run and get those 4-yard runs to be able to put themselves in better position to get those 2nd down and 6s. Right. To allow them to be able to have more opportunities to open up the playbook to be able to do more things on those downs. But the only thing that really kind of makes me nervous about them is the amount of long 3rd downs that they've been put into, whether it's been stuffing Devontae Freeman behind the line of scrimmage, you're losing 5 yards, Matt Ryan getting sacked, you're losing 5 yards, or the penalties on offense that has
Yeah,
really been killing them.
that's got to get cleaned up. The penalties full on have got to get cleaned up. Hey, what's up, Rock? I can see that you dropping in from the What's Up Falcons podcast. Guys, if y'all haven't checked that out, y'all definitely need to go give them boys a listen. They do a real good job over there covering the Falcons with Rock and Aries and those guys. They do a real good job. So we appreciate you stopping by and saying what's up, Rock. You're talking about King Julio and King Trufant. Hey, I'll give it to him for week. What about hey, Rock? What about King Beasley? Huh? No, no.
Too soon. Too soon.
Okay, my bad. My bad. I won't bust your butt too bad about that one. But thumbs up. I see you over there. But yes, penalties are my biggest concern right now. Going in 2 weeks in, we've had a lot of penalties on both sides of the ball, whether it be holding on defense or false starts. You shouldn't be at this stage of the game. We should not be having the pre-snap penalties on offense like we've been having. That ain't them causing us. That's us causing us.
Yeah.
And that stuff we have got to get cleaned up for sure.
Now, from a defensive standpoint, you got to remember, Seattle racked up a lot of penalties too on their defense because of how aggressive they were back when Dan Quinn was there. So I expect there to be some penalties with the Falcons defense. Now, this Falcons offense, they need to cut down on these turnovers. In these last 2 games, it's been very rough.
Yeah, they got to cut down, which I think they will. This reminds me, back a few years ago, I think it may have been 2015, when Ryan was throwing all those goofy picks.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of that, but I think he's good. I think this is more to do with trying to get on the same page with Cutter and trying to get the guys all going in the right direction.
Yeah, they're trying to readjust to each other because Dirk Cutter has shown that he's keeping a lot of Shanahan's playbook.
Right.
What he's been good at doing, he can come here and he took Mike Mularkey's playbook, and we saw that shuffle pass, which he used a lot in 2012, that he kept from Mike Mularkey, that he had so much success with Jason Snelling, and also Jacquizz Rodgers, and even Michael Turner has had some success with that shuffle pass.
So yeah, I enjoyed seeing that, being brought back into the playbook there. As far as somebody was asking about Quadre Olison as a starting running back, I'll be interested to see how long he stays inactive. Because between him and Brian Hill, I'm starting to wonder, why did we carry so many running backs if we're going to keep them all inactive? I mean, I understand you got to have Kenyon Barner as your returner. I get that. But, I mean, are those 2 guys just there just in case Ito or Devontae get hurt?
Well, you got to look at it. The 2 backs that Dirk Cutter is carrying into the game fit what he likes to do, particularly in the passing game.
True.
Devontae and Ito Smith both have good hands, and they can catch the ball. They've shown that in both these games. So you got to also, you've been seeing quite a bit of empty back sets.
Yes.
And the Falcons have had some success off of that, especially on 4th down and 5 in week 1 against Minnesota. Now, albeit we was losing that game, was getting whipped.
Right.
Ridley catches a touchdown pass out of the empty back set.
Yeah.
And then you come back with Julio Jones on a 4th down and 3, and he gets that screenplay and takes it to the house 54 yards.
And there was something we said, broke down on our podcast, and time for a shameless plug, I guess. Y'all can download our podcast on from Stitcher, from Spotify, from Google itself. Me and Toby, we chat for about an hour or so on the Falcons. Go into a much deeper dive there. So if you want to hear more of our thoughts, definitely check us out there. But what I said on there was that play really showed that how much of this is a team sport.
Yeah.
I know we love to hang stuff on one player, on one coach, on one whatever, but this is such a team sport that play shows it big time, because you had, Ryan audibling into the play to begin with. Then you had Sanu selling out that, the first 3 or 4 yards before he cuts and makes the block on the defensive back.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Jake Matthews just burying his guy.
Yep.
All those take place to spring Julio.
For Mohamed Sanu to know not to take the guy in front of him, but to take the other guy
Yes.
to the left of him that was huge.
Right. Well, I mean, you could say he got away with a little bit of a block in the back, but that's only when you take a still shot. I mean, I've been watching, I've seen that still shot going around on Twitter, but in live action, that isn't as much of a block in the back as I think as it initially looked.
The only way they probably would have called that is if he'd have gotten to his guy before Julio got the ball in his hands.
Right. Yes, I believe you're correct there. But like I said, that play is the epitome of this being a team sport.
Yes.
And that's what makes me love this game more than anything else. Let's see. I'm going to go to some comments here. Justin N said it was designed for Sanu to block the corner on Julio's side. No, you're 100% right.
Yes.
If you hadn't seen it, I would suggest any of you to go on to Twitter and search out that Dan Orlovsky breaking down that play.
Mm-hmm.
He does a real good job of breaking that down and to showing you all the pieces that I was just talking about. So that was real good. It says, Falcons played 13 games. Yes, yep. Playing indoors definitely benefits our team, the speed of our team. Not having to deal with the elements, yeah, of course. I mean, that makes it even easier for our guys who are those fast sideline to sideline type players.
Right.
To do that, to be that kind of defense that we want. Let's see. We're going to go. Yeah, Bug brought up a good point as far as the podcast goes. If you have a Google Home, all you have to do is tell it to play. You can just say, hey, Google, play, pound for pound ATL podcast, and it'll do it. It's pretty cool. I did it at the house just to test it, and yeah, it was real good, real interesting. And I agree, Fred. I think the Falcons are about to get on a roll. Indy sets up good for us, I think. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be an easy game. Road games are never easy, but I think that we will be able to run the ball on Indy, and I think that can like Philadelphia game, I believe had the chance to get our defense going.
Yeah.
I think the Indy game has a good chance to get our offense going.
That run game, I think.
Get that run game going.
Yeah.
So, looks like, and we're back.
I told y'all we was having a few issues, man. So just count that to our opportunity of the week 1 that Minnesota had this week.
Yeah, we're having a.
We
do
do apologize.
Sorry about that. We'll try to be a little bit cleaner next week. Hey, let us know if y'all are enjoying these live streams. This is kind of the format that we want to do this week, or not this week, but this year. Doing a live stream on Tuesdays after a Sunday game and Friday after a Thursday game. Is kind of what I think we're thinking about. And so let us know what y'all think on that. As far as somebody asked what my score prediction was, I got pretty close on our podcast. If you listened to it last week, I got pretty close with the Eagles game. I said it was going to be 24-21 Falcons, so I was only off by a point. I'm gonna take a chance here, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna go 28-17 Falcons is what I'm gonna say. I feel like we get the run game going. I feel like we score, we get the offense going a little bit better. I feel like we score a little bit more touchdowns. And I think our defense carries forth with the physical nature. And I think that we limit Brissett and to what he can do. Because after watching that Tennessee game, I think we have a good chance of limiting Brissett and what he can do. And I think we come away with a victory up in Indy.
We showed them early that we can shut their run game down.
Yeah.
I think if we're able to do that, then we have an opportunity to really win this game because we force them to have to throw it, especially if we get up on them.
Yeah, no doubt. If we get up on them early and put the game in Brissett's inexperienced hands, I think we come out a victor here.
Yeah. Someone asked me a question. I was trying to see. It popped up so fast.
Here you go. Let's see. Put you over here. Stop. There you go. So I think it was the Fila guys asking you if you think we'll win.
Yeah, that was a game I did say. Now y'all know I had 8-0, but the Minnesota game ruined that.
Yeah.
So, but it's all good. This is a game that I do feel like the Falcons can win, and I'm actually pushing for the Falcons to finally this week on offense get up into the 30s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking at least 32.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think after what we saw last week, if we can cut down on and minimize the turnovers that we had, we were going to hit right up into the 30s in this game had we not had the turnovers that we had, unfortunately, against Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, true.
We were going to get there.
Yeah, and Fred, I tend to agree. I think Beasley's going to have a good year. I think he's going to make it tough for the Falcons to re-sign him in a sense, and that's a good thing because if it's tough for us to re-sign him because he had a good year, I think that bodes well for us. Okay, and as far as not believing in Tack, he must have been listening to the podcast last week because I kind of called him out. I said, all right, yeah, you're talking a big game on social media. I'm not really seeing it. But if you watch that game, the Philadelphia game, dude, he was all up in everybody's face.
Yeah.
You know, he was bringing, I know he didn't technically have a sack, but he was causing all kind of havoc for Carson Wentz.
Yeah, and Feli Sports just mentioned about DQ struggling against AFC opponents. Listen, when you got 3 former head coaches on your team,
You shouldn't struggle
and
much.
you're a head coach yourself, currently coaching the team, you better not be struggling with AFC opponents, especially when you have Mr. Mike Mularkey, who has been head coaching in that conference for a long time. Buffalo Bills, remember? And you had that recently with the Tennessee Titans. So this is a guy that knows that conference that can help Dan Quinn to be able to, I believe, get over the hump this time around.
The same thing with Bob Stoops.
Yes.
You know, the
Yeah, Bob Sutton. Yeah,
Stoops.
Bob Sutton.
Stoops is in college. My bad,
Yep,
y'all.
Bob Sutton. So I believe we're going to be better prepared to deal with AFC opponents, especially your next 3 being against AFC South.
I think you're gonna do. I think you're gonna do much better.
Yeah, so he got me riled up about that. But you know, I do believe you have enough guys on your coaching staff that understands how that conference works and should be able to give you what you need to get over that hump.
Exactly, and those are things that I, like I said, I believe you're right. You can't do that bad forever. You know what I'm saying? Eventually you gotta, just like, you know, so far our luck against Philadelphia hasn't been all that good. Well, we won, so you know the narrative can shift there.
It sure can.
So, all right. Well, let's see here. I'm gonna see if there's any other. Yeah, I do. Hey, look, I agree with you, Dwayne. I am thoroughly enjoying the fact that Matt Ryan can now audible again.
Yeah.
You know, because that was the strength, and under Shanahan, it went away.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he necessarily had it with Sarkisian, but you can definitely tell he's got it back with Dirk Cutter.
Well, they know each other.
Exactly. They're very much familiar.
So far, they've done a great job at meshing philosophies and the offenses of Mularkey, Cutter, which Cutter essentially took from Mike Mularkey to get his scheme going in 2012. You know, i.e. the shuffle pass that he had success with, carrying that over. So you see all those philosophies and the scheme meshing well. I think this is a great head start for the Atlanta Falcons. Week 2. And I think as they go along, the offense will get even better in a better flow.
I believe so. So. And unless you've got anything else, that pretty much, I think, covers it up, you know, as far as what we got as, you know, as I said before, you know, definitely go download the podcast. We go into a lot more depth there than I think is suitable for YouTube. The last question from Ian there says, do you guys believe the Colts have a better defense than the Eagles? I don't think so. I mean, they have a feisty defense.
Yeah.
But I think that the Eagles have a better defense and a more physical defense. So I think we have weathered that storm of some very tough defenses to start.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me
yeah.
wrong. I don't think Indy's a pushover by any stretch of the imagination, but I think we've seen the toughest of what we're going to see for a little bit.
I think, despite how that week 1 turned out for us, it was an early wake-up call. And I don't see us sleeping on any teams from this point going forward.
I don't think
because
so.
of that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree. But we're gonna go ahead and try to wrap this up. Like I said, we're gonna be on here every week, Tuesdays, chatting it up about about the game all over the weekend. Fridays it went on the Thursday games. You can check us out on the podcast for a much more in-depth version of this. Also, like to take a second to show you all some T-shirts. See? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we got some T-shirts now. We'll provide some links for that if y'all decide y'all want to rock these. I like them. I think they're comfortable, but I would say that. So don't trust me. Order one and find out for yourself.
Now, I will say this because someone did point out about Julio Jones breaking the franchise record
Yeah.
for receiving yards. Julio Jones is a class act.
Big time.
Because he was like, look, they did point that out. Matt Ryan pointed that out to him. But he also said that right now that was not important to him at this point. What was more important was being there when his team needed him.
Yeah. And when you talk about a class act, somebody asked him about the 3 interceptions that Matt Ryan threw. And I think he said something about he didn't give a damn if he threw 5 interceptions, that they had to make plays.
Yes. Yes.
That, he was, and that shows you how much of a teammate, a team first type person he is.
Yes.
Even going through this contract dispute, he didn't let it affect him too much.
Right.
And that's always appreciated for people like myself.
And with that being said, man, hopefully next week
We'll talk about another victory.
Another victory against an AFC opponent.
There you go. As always, Falcons fans, rise up.